What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barça Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. To be honest, a very quiet 48 hours, but there have been some big developments on our two main summer transfer targets that, again, both decisions will be coming in this week. Nico Williams has now returned to Bilbao. He is set to start training with Athletic Club this coming Monday, which means that his decision will be coming before then at any given point. So in the next week, we will get the final communication from Nico Williams in regards to this decision. And also today, Barcelona, i.e. Deco, is in Germany to negotiate with RB Leipzig as Dani Olmo wants the deal done in the next 48 hours. Again, Barcelona and Dani Olmo have everything agreed. He's already said yes. All that is left is for the two clubs to reach an agreement, and once that agreement is reached, the deal is completed, and Deco has set out to Germany today to get the deal over the line. We had some other updates as well. The potential signing of N'Golo Kanté, Romeu exit has now been confirmed. Pau Victor versus Vitor Roque, who win that battle as a second striker going to next season. Bernal Casado being first team members, and also the goalkeeper kit for next season, the 25-26 season, has already been leaked, which is, absolutely crazy. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into this video is sponsored by Number One Foot. Number One Foot is one of the best replica football jersey websites on the market right now. They have a variety of different items at absolutely fantastic prices. For me here today, I'm going to show you guys the training kit from this season. This is the warm-up kit that the players use when they go out for training every single day, pre-games as well. You have here the Spotify logo. They have the club badge on it with the diamond as well. And I also have here one of the sweaters they have from last season. This was the Catalonia version. It feels like I bought this from the Nike store directly. The quality is absolutely unreal. The printing is fantastic. And of course, mainly the prices are unbeatable. And if you use the discount code BOY at checkout, you do get an additional 15% off your final order. That is BOY. Use it at checkout. You get 15% off your order, and all orders above $80 as well will guarantee you free shipping. So what are you waiting for? Click the top link in the description down below and get your new football kits today. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 48 hours. Again, the first update that we do have is around the future of Nico Williams, which hopefully we'll get an answer by the next week or so. I mean, of course, with this, you just never know when it's going to happen, but supposedly in the next week, he will make a final decision on his future and communicate it to both Bilbao and Barcelona. Now, Kante have come out saying that Nico Williams has still not communicated his decision to both Barcelona or Athletic Club, remain unclear about his future. He is expected to communicate it during this week before August the 12th, as he's supposed to join training with Bilbao that day. So hopefully before then, we'll get an answer. And also Mundo Deportivo, Ferran Martinez and Fernando Polo came out saying that Iñaki Williams, in particular, of course, the striker for Bilbao and Nico Williams' brother, is pushing the most for Nico to stay another year. And you know what? In life, the motto is family above all. So if his brother's really going to force him to stay, I think it's pretty much no going back here. What sucks is that I tweeted this yesterday that with Bilbao, Nico Williams has done a lot. He won, of course, a Super Cup. He won a Copa del Rey. There's nothing really else he can win that's, feasible. Of course, they can win the league, but it's going to be almost impossible. I think with the Europa League final being at the San Mamés, I think that's going to be the really key factor in that. Of course, Bilbao will go into that Europa League campaign as one of the favorites, not the favorite. And they can get knocked out in any sort of way, round 16, quarterfinal, semi-final. Of course, I think if they reach the final, they will win it with it being in their home stadium. But that road there is going to be difficult. There's a lot of, decent sides in the Europa League this upcoming season with a lot of, top clubs competing for top fours in their respective leagues. It makes the Europa League more entertaining and quite difficult. So it's not a walk in the park for them to win the Europa League. So I feel like he's done all right, and he's done, quite enough for Bilbao to say, what, I've kind of done it all. I think the only one trophy he could win that's, possible, apart from La Liga, is the Europa League. But again, if your family and your brothers are telling you to stay, he's going to end up staying. I would be beyond shocked if he was going to come to Barcelona at this point. I mean, again, we saw some quotes coming out from Kante yesterday. He was speaking to the media, saying that we would love Nico Williams to join us. He's a fantastic player. He'd level up the squad, all that sort of stuff. So we're still twerking for him, but I think it's far long gone at this point. I cannot see Nico Williams making that decision with his family, and more specifically, of course, his brother, who I think is the Bilbao captain going into the season, or is it DeMarcos? He's one of the two captains of the club, pushing him to stay. I think that's going to be the reality of the case. So we'll wait and see for that final decision, but again, Barcelona seems to be optimistic because he's taken a very long time with his decision. I mean, I'd probably give it like under 5% that we end up signing him. I think it's, again, far long gone now at this point, but we'll wait and see for that official communication to give us the official dagger in our hearts. Now, with the Nico Williams transfer, very unlikely it will, of course, speed up and advance the operation for Dani Olmo. Now, Fernando Martinez and Fernando Polo of Mundo Deportivo came out saying that at Barcelona, they are sure that Dani Olmo will arrive at some point. They expect positive news at some point this week. The intention of both Barcelona and the player side is to close the operation before August the 8th. Now, August the 8th is Thursday. Ain't no way in hell this is going to get done by Thursday. You could think that, but I think, you know what? It all comes down to what's going to happen later on today. According to multiple reports last night, Barcelona and RB Leipzig will meet today. Deco and the sporting director of RB Leipzig will have a meeting today to discuss the terms and conditions of the deal. Again, Dani Olmo's already given the green light. So once Barcelona and Leipzig reach a full agreement, the deal is done. So with this meeting happening later on today, we can definitely get a here we go confirmation of the operation today. So it's not that far-fetched, but maybe Nico's decision could maybe, persuade stuff if, of course, he says yes. But I think Barcelona kind of think that's kind of long far gone, like I already mentioned at this point. Now, Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that Leipzig want around 60 million euros guaranteed fixed, while Barcelona believe that the fixed amount should be around 50 to 55 million euros. Again, ongoing talks later on today during the meeting between the two clubs. Ben Aid came out saying that Barcelona intensifies its negotiation regarding Olmo. The coming days are crucial for reaching an agreement with Leipzig, especially since the player's desire is to wear the Barca jersey. So again, everything's pointing in the direction of this deal somewhat materializing in the next 48 hours. And finally, Ivan San Antonio came out saying that Barcelona has assured Olmo they'll be able to register him. Obviously, no shit. There will be a meeting, of course, between Leipzig and his agents today. Talks between the two clubs have been positive, and Barcelona want to close the signing at some point this week. Again, once this meeting happens later on today, we will probably get some big news, whether the agreement is close, the agreement is done, or the agreement is far beyond reach. So we're going to get one of those three reports later on today. I mean, I'm seeing Fermin Lopez getting goals and assists for Spain in the Olympics against Morocco. We're out here twerking for 60 million Dani Olmo transfer. It just boggles my mind. It really does. But you know what? We'll have to wait and see what the term is, the long-term, plan is for Dani Olmo. Again, the players of quality, the price, I don't have a problem with. I think it's quite fair. I think paying 60 fixed is quite outrageous. I think if we can get that a bit lower with some variables, I have no problem with it. Again, it's just whether or not we need the player or not. That's going to be the main talking point. So we'll see when the operation happens, when he joins. We'll talk about it then. We'll see how Flick does utilize Dani Olmo, whether or not Nico Williams joins as well. That's going to throw some big spanners in the work. I think with Barcelona really advancing this deal, basically means that Nico Williams is not coming whatsoever. So we'll wait and see. But looks like we're going to get a final answer for Dani Olmo this week on whether or not he will join Barcelona or not. Again, he's already agreed personal terms. He's already said yes to Barcelona. Unlike Nico Williams, now comes down to Barcelona and Leipzig agreeing a fee. Once that fee is agreed, the deal will be going through. Now, of course, a position in the midfield in which Barcelona are dying for right now, of course, for some experience and someone who has that, ability to level up Barcelona in that area. It is the pivot, and we talked about this kind of operation a few weeks ago, I think during the Euros, where Barcelona were exploring the option of bringing in N'Golo Kanté, whether it be on a loan or a very cheap operation. And Fernando Polo of Mundo Deportivo now came out saying that Deco had the possible incorporation of N'Golo Kanté under control, but Hansi Flick stopped the attempt because he first wanted to see the performances of the young players in the squad. So apparently Deco is making good work and making good progress in order to incorporate N'Golo Kanté to Barcelona this summer, whether it be a loan or a permanent transfer, however it may have been. He was making good progress of that, but Flick told him to pause and to wait after the tour to see how he feels about Barcelona's current set of midfielders, i.e. how the two marks would have played, Bernal and Casado. And of course they've done very, very well, so I doubt this operation would happen. I wouldn't be opposed to this, again, pending to what the conditions are straightly on the profile. very, very short term, of course, with N'Golo Kanté, but he's, of course, a player of good quality. He comes in for a year or two. I personally wouldn't mind it. Again, I am very, very desperate for a pivot, so I'll take that with a pinch of salt. But again, it comes down to what the conditions are. Of course, for me personally, a loan would be the best option, but I doubt Etihad will let him go on loan. If we're paying money for him, I wouldn't pay more than 10 million, but I doubt they're going to do that because they spent more on N'Golo Kanté. So how Deco had this operation under control, I have no idea, but it does very much look like this operation will be put aside now with the emergence of the two marks during the US tour. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past 48 hours. We do have some official news in regards to departure, and that is Oriol Romeu. Both Barcelona and Girona have confirmed that he has joined Girona on a season-long loan deal with his entire salary covered by Girona as well. Now, I did mention in the Here We Go video that I thought he only had 1 year left in his deal, but it turns out he's got 2. He has a contract until 2026, which means that Romeu will return in the summer. But to be honest, I'm not worried about Romeu. He's one of the utmost professionals around the club. He's kind of left the club very happily. The fact that Barcelona published a video of him leaving the US camp says enough about how the club and also how Romeu have been treating this whole entire situation. So when he comes back in the summer, we'll probably find some way to get rid of him again. But again, it's another problem that we're going to have to delay until the following summer, which kind of sucks. But in the end, he is gone now. We'll wait and see how he does with Girona, as they do have European football this season. And they are coming off the back of finishing 3rd in La Liga. So we'll see if he's the starter for them or not. But the move now is official and finalized. And we'll wish Romeu all the best. And hopefully he does not play against Barcelona to the point that we regret his decision. I wish the club, especially with this being a loan, they should have put a clause in there that he's not allowed to play against Barcelona. But of course, Deco is stupid. He's retarded. So of course he didn't put that in the operation. But we'll see how this fares into next summer, of course. But for now, Romeu is not going to be a Barcelona player for the following season. Now, a player's future that is very much in doubt, but he has now rejected the same offer twice to leave Barcelona. It is Vitor Roque, with Fabrizio Romano coming out saying that Vitor Roque has rejected another new approach from El Hilal in the last 1 to 2 days, following the initial approach about a week ago. So we heard about a week ago, of course, El Hilal were interested. They started talking with Barcelona. They then made a approach to the player. He said no. They came back again a few days later, and Roque said no again. Listen, what Pau Victor is doing in preseason right now, I mean, it ain't looking good whatsoever for Vitor Roque, and I can understand why he's rejecting these offers elsewhere. Again, I still think there's a talent there, but we just aren't seeing it. I think we're looking more and more at a Vitor Roque departure in some sort of capacity this summer, whether it be a loan or permanent sale. Again, if it's permanent, I would love to get the 40 million back for him, which again is about breaking even on him. We bought him for 30. We need to make an extra 10 to give back to his former club as a sell-on clause. So around 40 to 30, I would take on Vitor Roque at this point because of how well Pau Victor is doing, and also how poorly we're hearing about Vitor Roque and seeing. We now saw him against Man City and Madrid. Didn't look good, bruv, whatsoever. So we'll see. Maybe again he can go on and score a hat-trick against AC Milan later on today. We have absolutely no idea how things will turn out. But again, his time at Barcelona is looking slowly but surely nearing the end. Again, at this current point, it really comes down to how he leaves Barcelona and also under what conditions. Now, with Vitor Roque most likely to leave Barcelona, of course, his replacement and the coverage in competition for Lewandowski going into the following seasons looks set to be Pau Victor, after getting 3 goals in 2 games in Barcelona's opening 2 matches of the US Tour against Manchester City and Real Madrid. 2 not easy clubs here. We're talking about 2 very quality sides. Now, Mateo Merito came out saying that as of today, Barcelona do not want to sell Pau Victor, and they're very happy with his performances. He also said that they could maybe loan him out if things, go certain directions, that we can't maybe get rid of Vitor Roque. The club maybe will let Pau Victor go out alone to develop, but the club right now have no intentions of selling him this summer. And Kante came out saying that Pau Victor is in Barcelona's plans for next season, and the club want to see him be part of the first team. The problem right now is that Barcelona still needs to make room on the salary margin. Of course, not in terms of his salary because he's earning absolutely nothing, but in terms of salary spaces in the squad. Again, with Vitor Roque still intact, if Vitor Roque does not end up leaving whatsoever, he will have the priority of staying over Pau Victor simply on the fact of his wages, because you can't just not register Vitor Roque, especially when you're paying him a certain amount of money per week. But again, with Pau Victor, I'll hold my hands up. I said in the last video that we should stay calm and see how he does. he just keeps going out there and scoring, which again, I still think we should stay, a little bit calm. I think we cannot get too much overhyped, but we can now think, okay, let's have that conversation. Pau Victor versus Vitor Roque, who's going to be worth it to have in the squad next season. I still don't think either of them, to be honest, are going to push Lewandowski that much. I don't think none of them are showing that much quality to really put pressure on Lewandowski in terms of his performances, and it's also his output going into next season, which again kind of sucks for him. He's going to have a smooth ride unless he's going to be rested or he has an injury. I doubt either Pau Victor or Vitor Roque will challenge him unless we stick Pau Victor on the wing for one game because a hat trick, then all of a sudden you have to consider it. I don't know, but I think Lewandowski is going to have a very, very smooth sailing going into next season, regardless of who the option will be to be his coverage next season. But wait and see with Pau Victor. But again, he is definitely knocking on the door to be in the first team, and he is showing pretty much how he has been the Fermin Lopez of last preseason during this preseason. Now, two other players who have also been really impressing in preseason are, of course, the double pivot that started both games against City and Real Madrid in Marc Bernal and Marc Casado. Mateo Morito came out saying that the midfield isn't a priority for Barcelona this transfer window, but nothing is ruled out. Hansi Flick admires the youngsters like Casado and Bernal, who are performing well in preseason. Barcelona will assess their needs after the tour and decide on any midfield reinforcement. Again, we talked about this already 2 days ago. I think Fernando Polo said that as well. Romeu was also considered for a chance this season, but he's been out of the club's plans since about April, leading to his loan to Girona. But that doesn't make sense because we heard of course reports around June, beginning middle of June, Flick's gonna give everyone a chance, including Romeu. So that's a bit wide of the mark. But again, the two marks have been sensational in preseason. I understand why the club are thinking, okay, we don't have to go out there and really focus on a pivot. But of course, I am, in terms of knowledge, am fantastic, and I see the long-term future for this season. We're going to trust these two youngsters. They're going to make mistakes. They're not going to be good enough at the top level. We're going to probably finish third, and then we're going to say, let's go again and get another pivot in the summer. You need experience. Again, everyone who's been young over the past few years are now entering, a year or two away from their prime. Kante is growing up. Araujo is growing up. Pedri's growing up. Ball is growing up. Gavi's growing up. Yamal now is a year older as well. This team is on the verge of entering their prime and just need that extra kick, more specifically in the midfield, where of course not only do we lack numbers, but also personnel as well. I understand that these two players have been fantastic, but we cannot go into the season as them two being our only option. I don't mind them bouncing in around the first team and Barça Athletic. Of course, Casado most likely going to be promoted to the first team, but Bernal will probably be bouncing between both, I would assume. But we cannot rely upon just those two. What happens when one of them gets injured, then what as well? We cannot be burdening these youngsters with so many minutes. Look what happened with Gavi, of course, the past 2 years. Pedri in that first year. Yamal last season. We cannot be making these repetitive mistakes over and over again. I like these two players. They've been fantastic. I trust them. They have great potential, great growth, but imagine them with some experience beside them. Like, for example, hypothetically, Joshua Kimmich. I know that everyone calls Casado Joshua. Yes, I get his banter. Ha ha ha. Hypothetically speaking, imagine Casado alongside a Kimmich or Kimmich alongside a Bernal, where they can gain some experience, and then when Kimmich needs to be rested, you can play both of them, like in the Copa del Rey games, maybe some home games where we have so many games coming up week after week. These are the kind of options. We cannot be going into a Champions League quarterfinal with Bernal and Casado as our two pivots. Of course, they're both young. They both had the summer off. They both have been training the whole entire summer, and they're facing up against players who have had a long season and have been just coming back from their breaks as well. That also needs to be taken into consideration. So we'll wait and see how things do turn out. I think the club, in the end, if I were to predict it, will not sign a pivot. If they do sign one, it'll be last-second loan or free transfer crap. It won't be anyone of quality. But again, I think the club right now, and also Hansi Flick, are very much firm on the fact they do really want to trust Bernal and Casado heading into the season. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss for an end off this video is in regards to a kit leak. Now, we have not even gotten the announcement yet of our second or third kit for this season, and this season hasn't even started yet, and we already have leaks for next season's kits. According to Footy Headlines, of course, the number one source for jersey leaks, they have now leaked the design of the goalkeeper kit for next season, which again makes no sense. To be honest, doesn't look too bad. I'm not a fan of the Barça, Nike, and Spotify logo all being throughout the middle. In terms of the actual design of it, the kind of, dark black with the kind of gray in the middle, I kind of like it. It's kind of cool, especially for a goalkeeper kit as well. But why is that Nike logo being stuffed in between Barcelona and the Spotify logo? This worries me that the next season's home kit is going to have those three across, the Barcelona badge, Nike, Spotify. That should not be the case. Keep the Nike logo on the side as it always has been. I think that makes the kit look much cleaner. This for me just looks a bit weird, again, in terms of the actual logos, not the actual kit design itself. Kit design itself is pretty good, I would say, 7, 8 out of 10 for a goalkeeper kit, of course. So, I mean, it's a bit weird that they're already getting leaked without even this season currently starting, but hey, yo, it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts on the kit design down below. Again, for me personally, not a big fan of the Barca, Nike, and Spotify logo all being in a row down the center, but again, at least it's going to be coming out. I suspect the home kit for next season to be probably leaked in the next month or two. I think maybe around mid to end of September, we'll probably see those first designs. But again, we now have a brand new look of how the goalkeeper kit will look going into next season. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 24 hours. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed on the Dani Olmo deal, Nico Williams, the potential N'Golo Kanté transfer, thoughts on the battle between Pau Victor and Vitor Roque, thoughts on trusting Bernal and Casado as our pivots going into the next season, and of course make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barça.